إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستهديه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فهو المهتدي ومن يضلل فلا هادي له أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون أما بعد فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. أما بعد, inshallah, just to mention an incident that took place the day of Eid and right in the morning, and I meant to bring it up last week and I just forgot. وما أنسانيه إلا الشيطان أن أذكره. We were, alhamdulillah, we were going to Fajr in one of the masajid, and I started at the red light, and someone was behind me, but he came from the other side of the street and started driving behind me, but he was going so fast. And then he stopped next to me at the red light. And then when I looked, and usually that street is always cops around. I don't know if you're familiar with 67th Street Avenue. And so when I looked, I saw a brother. He looked like a brother with a beard, and I knew Pakistani. So I rolled down the window and I said, Assalamu alaikum, Eid Mubarak. And I said, please brother, just slow down, because there are cops here everywhere. So first I said, Salam, I said, wa alaikum salam. So then I advised him to slow down. He said, okay. So once the light turned green, he was already 100 feet away from me. And by the next light, he had a cop behind me. He was rushing to the masjid. He said, I need to catch the salah. He was rushing to the masjid. And I'm sure he missed the salah. I don't know if he missed Salat al-Eid too. But that's what happened, right in front of my eyes. And I know that he did not make it to the masjid because I looked for him after. So we need to stick to the advice of the Prophet ﷺ in every aspect of our life. What Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, يا أيها الذين آمنوا استجيبوا لله والرسول إذا دعاكم لما يحييكم. Answer the call of Allah and the call of the Messenger if they call you for what gives you life, for what makes your life better. And the Prophet ﷺ said, nothing good I know, but I have advised you to do, and I had guided you to. So we need to stick, and the Prophet ﷺ makes it clear about this issue. He says sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, إِذَا أَتَيْتُمُ الصَّلَاةِ فَأْتُوهَا بِالسَّكِينَةِ وَالْوَقَارِ بِالسَّكِينَةِ وَالطُّمَأْنِينَةِ. If you come to the salah, then you come in peace, and you slow down. Take it easy, don't rush. Okay? فَمَا أَدْرَكْتُمْ فَصَلُّوا وَمَا أَدْرَكْتُمْ فَصَلُّوا وَمَا فَاتَكُمْ فَأَتِمُّوا. So whatever you are managing to catch with the Imam, you pray. And whatever you missed, because the Imam is in the second rak'ah or whatever, then you complete. That's why this hadith, some of the ulama said, the salah that when you come late, the salah you catch with the Imam is the beginning of your salah. Because he said sallallahu alayhi wa sallam after that, and what you miss, you complete. You know? So stick to the commands. So you see, the point is, the Prophet ﷺ said, come easy, take it easy. And inshallah, even if you made the effort and you come late and the Imam has missed, or you have missed the whole salah with the Imam, inshallah, you will be still rewarded for the jama'ah. You made the effort, okay? Because you were busy in the salah. You were busy preparing for the salah. You were busy coming to the salah. So all that, inshallah, will be counted. So take it easy and listen to the advice when you hear it next time, especially when it has to do with cops. All right, we've been there. And the traffic school is waiting. Allah musta'an. So today, inshallah, as we finished last week, we stopped talking about al-jahl and the ignorance. And we said one of the characters of those who have no ambition and those who do not strive for the right thing, they might strive, but they might strive for the wrong thing because of the lack of knowledge and because of their ignorance. And we gave a few examples of that. And ignorance is a very dangerous disease. And al-jahl is a very dangerous disease. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had condemned it. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tell His prophets to avoid al-jahl. And He advised us, the believers, and everyone, to avoid any jahl that will misguide them, because there is no benefit of al-jahl. There is no benefit of al-jahl whatsoever. It doesn't matter their sayings, doesn't matter what people say and what proverbs are and what culture has to say about al-jahl. Some of them said, to be ignorant is better for you. You're out of any issue. You don't have to do it. And we said, the Prophet ﷺ mentioned some kind of people like that. Okay? من أهل النار خمسة الرجل الذي لا زبر له. A man who has no brain to think, as the Prophet ﷺ said, and one that doesn't want any responsibility. So jahl is a disease that we need to avoid. And if you are striving to reach Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and you are striving for the right cause, and you are aiming to the right point, then very important, you have to have knowledge. Because knowledge is one of the keys is the key that will get you there. Without it, you're just going right and left. You're going east and west, like Ilya Abu Mal al-Jahil. Al-Dal al-Harik, he didn't know where he's going. Don't be like him. So it's very important that we understand this point. And Ibn al-Qayyim rahimahullah has very precious words and very valuable words that, if we could say, should be written with duwar of gold, with gold, for their beautiful meaning that they carried. يقول الإمام ابن القيم رحمه الله: لا شيء أقبح بالإنسان من أن يكون غافلا عن الفضائل الدينية والعلوم النافعة والأعمال الصالحة، فمن كان كذلك فهو من الهمج الرعاع الذين يكدرون الماء ويغلون الأسعار إن عاش غير حميد، وإن مات غير فقيد، فقدهم راحة للبلاد والعباد ولا تبكي عليهم السماء ولا تستوحش لهم الغبراء. He said, when the person lives in this dunya without any concern, and he's not striving to learn the knowledge of the deen, and he's not aiming and has ambition to learn the knowledge that will benefit him. And when we talk about benefits mainly, and the number one benefit is the benefit of coming closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He who doesn't strive for that, he who doesn't look for that, he or she who's not trying to learn, especially the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he said this person is of no use. And this person is an extra. And this person is a burden on the rest of the people and on the rest of the world. Because of him, the water is dirty. And because of him, the cities are tight. And many people like that. They just crowd the areas. Too many of them of no worth. So there is no benefit, there is no contribution, and all they're doing is consume and consume. And as he said, وَيَرْفَعُونَ الْأَسْعَارَ وَيُغْلُونَ الْأَسْعَارَ, they raise the prices. Because the more demand, the higher the prices. Okay? So just their existence has nothing beneficial, nothing positive to the rest of the people. So don't be like those, and don't be from amongst them. Then he said, إِنْ عَاشَ غَيْرَ حَمِيدٍ وَإِنْ مَاتَ غَيْرَ فَقِيرٍ. If he lives, then no one cares about him. If he lives, no one respects him. If he lives, he has no name and no contribution. So عَاشَ غَيْرَ حَمِيدٍ. No one gives him any attention, no one's respect him, no one praises him. And who wants to live like that? Being detested by everyone. Everyone looking down at him. وَإِنْ مَاتَ غَيْرَ فَقِيرٍ. That's if he lives. And if he dies, he will not be missed. No one will remember him. Why? Because he never did anything to anyone. All his concern was himself. All he lived is to fulfill his desires and to live his dunya. As they said, this is one life. خلينا نعيش الحياة. خلينا نعيش الدنيا. They want just to live this dunya. And they want to live for the shahawat. And they want to live for their desires. Then when he dies, no one will remember him. And if they happen to remember him, they remember his bad life. And they remember his bad attitude. And they remember that he did nothing. And that's where you see a lot of people saying, may Allah have mercy on him. He's dead. We should not talk about the dead people. You know? He's dead. We should not talk about the dead people. But we talk about the dead people when they're good. We are saying, قال ابن القيم رحمه الله. Ibn al-Qayyim رحمه الله is dead too. But he left gold. He left great knowledge. And that is what we're learning tonight. But no one cares about the person who lived next to Ibn al-Qayyim who did not contribute anything. No one knows him. So very important that we don't be like that. And he said رحمه الله وقال أيضا في الذين حرموا العلم هم الموصوفون بقوله تعالى إن شر الدواب عند الله الصم البكم الذين لا يعقلون. The worst animals in the sight of Allah, الصم البكم. They're deaf, they're mute, they don't speak, they don't hear. Yes, they have ears, yes, they have lips and tongues, but they don't use them in the right manner. Yes, they hear you screaming at them, they hear what you say, but they do not comprehend. Okay? They do not put those faculties that Allah had provided for them in the right manners. And they don't use them in the right ways that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had created them for. وَبِقَوْلِهِ أَمْ تَحْسَبُوا أَنَّ أَكْثَرَهُمْ يَسْمَعُونَ أَوْ يَعْقِلُونَ إِنْهُمْ كَالْأَنْعَامِ بَلْ هُمْ أَضَلُّ سَبِيلًا. You think that most of them hear, and you think most of them understand. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, إِنْهُمْ كَالْأَنْعَامِ. They are like animals. بَلْ هُمْ أَضَلُّ سَبِيلًا. بَلْ أَضَلُّ سَبِيلًا. They are like animals. Then Allah says, actually they are even more misguided. Why? Because that al-an'am, that the animal knows exactly what he is created for. That animal always tries to do what's good for him and avoid what's harmful. You bring a donkey, or you bring an animal, and you put him at an edge of a building, on top of a building. You think he's gonna jump? I don't think he's gonna think he's super donkey, so he won't jump. He won't jump because he knows by the fitrah and the way Allah created him that he's not qualified to do that. He doesn't have wings. He cannot fly. Alright? So it's very important. That is an animal. But those who run after their shahawat and those who have the dunya in front of their eyes and inside of their hearts and nothing else, those people are going toward what harms them. That is why Allah made them, and Allah says that they are worse than animals. Alright? So he knows Allah gave him what's right and what's wrong, but yet he chooses to go with the wrong thing. But the animal always search for what benefits him. Then he said, rahimahullah, وَبِقَوْلِهِ إِنَّكَ لَا تُسْمِعُ الْمَوْتَى وَلَا تُسْمِعُ الصُّمَّ الدُّعَاء. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also tells the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, you cannot make the dead hear. And you cannot make the deaf hear. Okay? The invitation and the dua. And the issue of the dead people hearing, if they can hear us or not, is a really a big issue and discussed by a lot of the ulama. Wallahu a'lam al-arjah, and the most correct is the opinion of al-Ahnaf, Sada al-Ahnaf, and Shaykh al-Albani has a book about that, Risala, about the dead hearing the dead hearing the people. And the more correct is they don't. In general, the dead people do not hear. The dead people do not hear. You find people going to the graves and start talking to the person, and we want to give him company, and we want to go tell him Eid Mubarak and all that. The most probably that the dead don't hear, even though there are some evidence, especially like Ghazwat Badr, when the Prophet ﷺ talked to the dead of the kuffar, have you found what you were promised, and all these things. And he called them by their names. But also these are special things, some of the ulama said, for the Messenger ﷺ, or special thing for that instance. But in general, the dead do not hear, and that is a different issue. It's not our topic. But you, in general, you cannot make them hear. وَقَوْلِهِ تَعَالَى وَمَا أَنْتَ بِمُسْمِعٍ مَنْ فِي الْقُبُورِ. And also Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Fatir that to the Prophet ﷺ, and you cannot make those in the grave hear. Okay? وَمَا أَنْتَ بِمُسْمِعٍ مَنْ فِي الْقُبُورِ. قال بعض العلماء من في القبور هم الجهال. You cannot make, now the ayah says you cannot make those in the graves here. Some of the ulama said those who are in the graves Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaking about, they are the juhal, the ignorant. And what their graves are, their bodies. Their graves are their bodies, because their ruh and their soul is stuck in there. As the poet said, الجهل قبل الموت موت لأهله وأجسامهم قبل القبور قبور وأرواحهم في وحشة من جسومهم وما لهم قبل النشور نشور. He said, if I could translate that, الجهل قبل الموت موت لأهله, that ignorance before death hits that ignorant person, he's really dead because of his ignorance. Even though he's walking around, even though his heart is beating, but he's dead because of his ignorance. He doesn't know what he lives for. He doesn't do what he's created for. He's always going the opposite of the current. And he's always doing the wrong things that Allah did not order him to do. And he's always trying to please the wrong people and the wrong side. Then he's like dead. Okay? Like dead. وَأَجْسَامُهُمْ قَبْلَ الْقُبُورِ قُبُورٌ. And their bodies are graves for them before the graveyard, the real grave. Their bodies are grave for their souls. Because as we said, the soul is created from top. The soul wants to rise. And the soul wants to elevate. But it's stuck in this body that is always created from dirt. And because it's being fulfilled with the desires, fulfilled with the dirt that it was created from, then it proceeds and prevails. So always taken down with it, the body and the soul. Not only itself, but taking that soul that's trying to strive down. So that soul, in other words, is stuck. So it's being buried inside this ignorant, or the body of this ignorant person. Okay? وَأَرْوَاحُهُمْ فِي وَحْشَةٍ مِّن جُسُومِهِمْ. Their souls wants to run away. This ruh wants to run away, looking for a freedom. Wants the freedom, wants to go up. And then the poet said, وَمَا لَهُمْ قَبْلَ النُّشُورِ نُشُورٌ. And before the real death, they have no real death. They have to wait. That ruh is stuck in that body, and the ignorance is imprisoning that ruh. And that is, as some of the ulama said, وَمَا أَنْتَ بِمُسْمِعٍ مَنْ فِي الْقُبُورِ. Then he said, and listen to these words, وَهَذَا الصِّنْفُ شَرُّ الْبَرِيَّةِ رُؤْيَتُهُمْ قَدَ الْعُيُونِ وَحُمَّ الْأَرْوَاحِ وَسُقْمِ الْقُلُوبِ يضيقون الديار ويغلون الأسعار ولا يستفاد من صحبتهم إلا العار والشنار وعند أنفسهم أنهم يعلمون ولكن ظاهرا من الحياة الدنيا وهم عن الآخرة هم غافلون ويعلمون لكن ما يضرهم ولا ينفعهم وينطقون ولكن عن الهوى ينطقون ويتكلمون ولكن بالجهل يتكلمون ويؤمنون ولكن بالجبت والطاغوت ويعبدون ولكن من دون الله ما لا يضرهم ولا ينفعهم ويجادلون ولكن بالباطل ليدحضوا به الحق ويتفكرون ويبيتون ولكن ما لا يرضى من القول ويدعون ولكن مع الله إلها آخر يدعون ويحكمون ولكن حكم الجاهلية يبغون ويقولون إنما نحن مصلحون ألا إنهم هم المفسدون ولكن لا يشعرون. سبحان الله, كلام رائع. And it's all from the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He says these ignorant people, not only they're ignorant, but they claim to know. And they think they know. And they think they are doing the right thing. And they think they are calling for the right things. And they think the right way. And they think that they claim they have the truth. And all that is wrong, over wrong. ظُلُمَاتٌ بَعْضُهَا فَوْقَ بَعْضٍ. Because of their ignorance. Because they don't know. And they cannot distinguish between the right and the wrong. They cannot distinguish between al-haqq and al-batil because of their ignorance. The same disease, the same problem. Some of the things he said, for themselves, they think they know. And then he said, لَكِنْ ظَاهِرًا مِنَ الْحَيَاةِ الدُّنْيَا وَهُمْ عَنْ الْآخِرَةِ هُمْ. Yes, they know. They know the dunya. As Allah says. They know what they see from, not even the whole dunya, whatever they see from this dunya, whatever they're deceived. So you always find the ignorant, all his conversations, all his talks, all he wants is money. Some people, you sit with them from the first second until the last second you leave, all they talk about money and investment. Those people sitting with them is a waste. And that time is against you, not for you. Yes, talk about the dunya, talk about your concern, talk about your plans, but don't make it the main thing of your life. Because if they talk to you like that, they're going to talk to everyone like that. So don't be like them. No, you're not saying you cannot talk about business. Talk about business, but be balanced. So they think they know it all. But actually what they know is the wrong thing. They know maybe they're specialized in the dunya and in the deception. Then Allah says, هُمْ عَنْ الْآخِرَةِ هُمْ غَافِلُونَ. That knowledge they think they know of the dunya, but in reality they are so unaware and so heedless of the akhirah. They just don't know what about al-akhirah. Then he said, وَيَعْلَمُونَ وَلَكِنْ مَا يَضُرُّهُمْ وَلَا يَنْفَعُهُمْ. And they know, They know what harms them, but not what benefits them. So they know things. They're not ignorant completely, but they are knowledgeable of that which harms them. And that is even worse. That is the worst level of ignorance. And that is what they call jahl murakkab. And jahl murakkab, he is the one who's ignorant, and he thinks, or he doesn't know that he's ignorant. Or he's ignorant and he thinks he knows. That is jahl murakkab. That is very complicated level of ignorance. Okay? إن كنت تعلم فتلك مصيبة، أو إن كنت لا تعلم فتلك مصيبة، وإن كنت تعلم فالمصيبة أعظم. Okay? Some people and some issues that if you don't know, then it's a problem, because you're expecting to know. It's a simple thing. معلوم من الدين بالضرورة. Something that everyone should know. The 5 years old and the scholar know at the same level. Okay? 5 years old is being taught the right way by his parents. Know that Muslims have to pray 5 times a day. And the scholars who's been in al-ilm and amongst the books for the last 60 and 70 years of his life knows that. So they are equal in that. That is ma'loom min ad-din bil-darura. But he's ignorant of it. And he argues about it. Okay? So if you don't know, it's a problem. But if you know, then the problem is even more and bigger. Why? Because now you know and you don't practice. You know and you don't try to act. So be aware of those. لِمَ تَقُولُونَ مَا لَا تَفْعَلُونَ وَيَنْطِقُونَ وَلَكِنْ عَنِ الْهَوَى يَنْطِقُونَ. Yeah, they speak. They speak. But they speak their own hawa and their own desires, their own caprice. And what they talk about the dunya. That's all they talk about. وَيَتَكَلَّمُونَ وَلَكِنْ بِالْجَهْلِ يَتَكَلَّمُونَ. And they talk. And all these characters of the people of ilm, usually the people who know are the ones who are allowed to speak. And they are the ones who are allowed to address the issues of the Muslims. And they are the ones who are allowed to address the Muslims. Not anyone. Not anyone who can read, stand in front on the minbar and start talking to the people. And perhaps he doesn't even know what he's talking about. And this is a problem that we are stuck with. And this is issues that we're stuck with. And the fact, and the greatest example, is you have someone like me talking to you. Just like that. And it's not out of humbleness, and it's not out. But that is one of the issues. But it's the necessity. للضرورة أحكام. ضرورات تبيح المحظورات. Alright? There is a rule in fiqh, in usul fiqh, that الضرورات تبيح المحظورات. That necessities necessitate the forbidden things. Because out of necessity, because we are stuck and someone needs to talk, then we transport to you and we transmit to you what the ulama say. But may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala provide for us a scholar or someone who is knowledgeable, the right knowledge and the right way and on the right manhaj, and his concern is the da'wah, not few dollars to collect at the end of every month, and we will sit at his feet and we will stop all this. So say Ameen. Ameen. You guys are asleep. وَيُؤْمِنُونَ وَلَكِنْ بِالْجِبْتِ وَالطَّاغُوتِ. Yeah, they believe too. These people believe. This atheist, he believes. Don't say he's not a believer. He's a believer. But in الجبت والطاغوت. He's a believer in shayateen. He's a believer in everything other than Allah. He's a believer in everything other than the hukum of Allah. He follows everything other than the hukum of Allah. So he's a believer in his own way. Not the believers that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala praises. Not that kind of believers. That's especially for the Muslims. But the believers, he believes in his own way. بالجبت والطاغوت. ويعبدون ولكن من دون الله ما لا يضرهم ولا ينفعهم وما لا ينفعهم. They worship, but everything other than Allah. They worship, which doesn't benefit them or harm them. Actually, it harms them, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says. So, that is what they worship. وَيُجَادِلُونَ وَلَكِنْ بِالْبَاطِلِ لِيُدْحِضُوا بِهِ الْحَقِّ. And they argue. And they argue with you. And they think they know. And they're full of ignorance. But they argue for the benefit of the batil. Because they are ignorant. And they think they know. That is the problem that we are stuck with. وَعُودْ نَعُوذُ بِاللَّهِ مِنْ هَذَا. وَيَتَفَكَّرُونَ وَيُبَيِّتُونَ وَلَكِنْ مَا لَا يَرْضَى مِنَ الْقَوْلِ. And they talk amongst themselves. This kind of people agree with each other. And this kind of people come together. And they are homogeneous. They talk and they come. But what they talk about is what does not please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَيَحْكُمُونَ وَلَكِنْ حُكْمَ الْجَاهِلِيَّةِ يَبْغُونَ. And they rule and they use the law. But the law of al-jahiliyyah. That's what they want. وَيَقُولُونَ إِنَّمَا نَحْنُ مُصْلِحُونَ. And they say, we are just trying to establish good. And we are trying to do the right thing. And we are trying to serve the deen. إِنْهُمُ الْمُفْسِدُونَ وَلَكِنْ لَا يَشْعُرُونَ. They are the corruptors, but they don't even feel. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Surah Al-Baqarah. So these are people like that. And to summarize all these characters, as we read every Thursday night, as the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ, the night of Al-Jumu'ah, قوله تعالى وإذا رأيتهم تعجبك أجسامهم وإن يقولوا تسمع لقولهم كأنهم خشب مسنن. When you see them, you appreciate their bodies. They're strong, they're big, as Allah talks to the Prophet ﷺ about the hypocrites. You appreciate their bodies. You want them to be on your side. They're strong. They are welcoming. They look good. They can bet. You think they have benefits with them. Okay? إذا رأيتهم تعجبك أجسامهم وإن يقولوا تسمع لقولهم. And when they talk, you want to listen to them because you want to bring them and draw them with you. Okay? كأنهم خشب مسنن. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, those are خشب مسنن. Like piece of wood against the wall. All this body you see, all this elegance, he's dressed perfectly, he looks great, he's sharp, he talks very properly, but he's like a wall leaning against the wall. If you remove the wall, he will collapse. So he's hiding behind all these things. Alright? And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala goes on to talk about them. Even more descriptive ayah of them is also we recite from Surah Al-Jumu'ah, and that is قوله تعالى كمثل الحمار يحمل أسفار. Just like the donkey carries asfar on his back. What is al-asfar? Books and knowledge. But the donkey can carry all the knowledge in the world on his back. Does he know any of it? Those are the ignorant. Allah talks about the people of the book. They have the books, they have the deen, but they don't follow. إنهم يعني كالحمار يحمل أسفار. Like a donkey carrying and moving all these books and all this knowledge, but doesn't benefit from it. Okay? It's like a student whose bag is always the backpack is always full of books. And he goes to the library and he gets books just to keep his bag full. But he's an F student. What is the benefit? It doesn't matter how much you carry. Even it doesn't matter how much you might have in your mind. If it's not put into practice, if it's not used to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala the right manner, if it's not based on knowledge and the saved knowledge and the sound knowledge, then in your face, against you, not for you. And also, everyone that Allah subhanahu talking about this point still, everyone Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created, mu'min, kafir, fasiq, whatever, whoever he is, has a goal in life. Must have a goal in life. And must have a purpose. Imagine, you got no goal in life. There is nothing. You don't want anything. What kind of life you would have? What kind of life you would have? As some of them said that you have some of the extremist Sufis. It's the call.